when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. DZ Tribe, Josh Thomas, welcome, glad you're here. I want to talk about something really important today. I want to talk about trust. Before I get into that, make sure, if you do enjoy these episodes, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend, share this episode if it's meaningful to you. Share a past episode if you got something from it. The only way that I really expand this thing is by you telling somebody else that this meant something to you. Also, make sure that if you get a chance to go take the Do Zone DNA, you can go to dozonedna.com to understand better how you get stuff done so you can build a world around you for optimal performance. So let's talk about trust. I have had conversations. It's hard to keep count, but I think that as far as directly working with and impacting people, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 or more. Entrepreneurs, mostly. And either they are just getting started or they're somewhere in the middle of the journey. Haven't talked to a whole lot of people that are, exiting on their way out, although that list is growing too. And what I've learned, some of that has been in a sales capacity, but some of it has been in a consulting capacity. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. What really matters is the decision that needs to be made. And in order for a decision to be made, a lot of things need to happen. There are many subconscious emotional cues that need to be satisfied before you can make any kind of decision, regardless of how logical it may be. People buy with emotion and they justify it with logic. People decide with emotion and they justify it with logic. You jump into a relationship with someone or something or some business or some group or some entity because they pull you towards them emotionally, and then you back that emotion up with your logic, with your frontal cortex, and your ability to think critically and abstractly. That's how the brain works. That's how humanity works. That's a totally different podcast episode that will probably last hours, and I need to bring on a specialist for that, and I probably will. But for now, let's talk about trust. Because what trust does is trust satisfies all of your emotional cues. If you trust, then you're not concerned about the imminent threats or the pain or the danger or the damage that can be caused because you trust. The question I want to ask and pose to you today is, well, who do you trust? And I'm not asking for a name, but instead I'm asking for a position. What position do you trust? And let me clarify that. Because what I've found over time in speaking with 5,000 plus entrepreneurs is there are three specific positions where you must be able to give strong levels of trust before any decision can be made, before any relationship can be entered. And I'm going to walk you through each of those. And they do happen to be in order, by the way, because if we're just sitting there on our own in homeostasis, we're not really thinking about trusting anyone or anything for any reason because we don't need to. We're just still. But when it's time to take action, when it's time to get ourselves in motion, when it's time to do something besides be still, we must trust. Now, who do we trust, or rather what? There are three simple boxes. It's a triangle, 3 check boxes, a triad, however you want to arrange it. But there are 3 simple steps. Number 1, if you're entering a business relationship or a personal relationship, or you're considering buying a product or something like that, whatever it may be, the first question you must ask is, do I trust this company? Or do I trust this person? That matters more than anything else. Do you trust the company or do you trust the person? If you imagine a relationship that you're considering entering. You meet a cute girl or a cute guy, and they seem fun and interesting, and you're considering spending more time with them and making it more official. Do you trust that person? Are they trustworthy? Don't worry about anything else, but are they a trustworthy person? Now, you may not be 100% accurate on that, but can you at least get a good sense that you can trust this person? If you're considering buying something or signing up for some program or something like that, membership, subscription, whatever, do you trust this company? Does it seem like a company that can be trusted? Does it seem like a company who has been able and demonstrated they have done trustworthy things? It matters. And only then, if you've checked off that box, can you move on to the next step? And I'll get to that in a second. But to clarify, if you have not checked off that first box, you cannot move forward. Nothing else matters. No other part of this equation is relevant. If you can't trust the person you're with, or if you can't trust the company that you're going to consider doing business with, go away, run away as fast as you can, get out of there. But if you can trust them, then we move on to step 2. And in the business sense, do you trust the plan that has been laid out for you? Is it a plan that seems reasonable that it will work? Do you trust this process to do the things that it needs to do to get you to the place that you need to go? In a personal sense, do you trust this person's plan for how your life will be together? Do you trust that they are someone who is going to be looking out for your best interests